I am Wulfboi in Wulfboi Gaming, and I am playing Titanfall 2 with a wonderful friend of mine, iAlexLopes. How you doing, buddy?
What up?
Alright, looks
So,
like we're...
like,
Uh-huh.
most people won't know this, but do you remember when I had the lemonade syrup?
That's right, yeah, from way back in the day at the beginning of the channel. Lemonade syrup.
Yeah, and when I got my Xbox, I didn't remember the password, so I had to ditch that account and just,
Oh, dude, the saddest part about that is the fact that we did everything we could to try to recover it.
yeah, but we couldn't at all. Like,
But it
and
just wasn't meant to
like
be.
it was like so funny, like lemonade syrup. What the heck does that mean?
It's enjoyable, it's sweet, it's two wonderful things put together.
It got a nice ring to it.
There's a guy called Jellyfish. Oof. Those are two things that should never go together.
It was so funny because we were talking about like some people or some stuff, I don't know. And in Portuguese, you say dos, which means like
One, two.
one of them,
Oh, that's right, because I completely flubbed on the whole sentence structure on that one.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh yeah, dos. And you were like, dead, like, totally serious, tres. And for a moment there was like...
Dead silence where we just had complete
and everyone's like,
disconnect.
what? And then everyone started laughing like really, really loud. Like, what is he talking about? He totally missed it. And you were like still like really that serious, which made it like more funny.
To be perfectly fair in that situation, at that point I was just like so embarrassed. I was like, no, stay serious, because no matter what, one of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to laugh harder and it's going to be worth remembering, or it's going to turn into one of those situations where it's like, oh, someone actually doesn't understand, let me explain. So in either case I would have survived. But I was already at that point where it's like, okay, I have to make the best out of the situation in some capacity. So what have you been up to lately, man? It's been a good time since we actually had a chance to actually talk.
I got married this year, so like in February. So I'm still like
Honeymoon phase.
adapting to this new life. And the biggest change actually was a geographic one, because I moved from São Paulo to Goiás.
Okay, and for those who are on the American side of the discussion don't really know, it's pretty much the equivalent of, I guess, moving from like New York to Ohio kind of a thing. Maybe not distance-wise, but it's like a shift in states, essentially.
More like New York to Texas, I mean.
Oh, it's that much of... See, I'd never been to... God, the pronunciation is going to kill me, and I know I'm going to garner a lot of hate. But, what was it?
Goiás.
Goiás. I have never been, so I have no context for that locale.
But now, it's basically Midwest, so it's a lot drier and a lot hotter than São Paulo. Like, it barely rains all year long. And people are really different from São Paulo. Like, they are more, I think, slower, like...
They did take more of their time.
People from São Paulo is like, chop, 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 let's go. But people from the Midwest are like, take your time, think about it.
No need to rush.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, to be perfectly honest, when you said slow, it could have been misinterpreted very easily.
No. I didn't mean that. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I'm always good boy. I love that tag that I have on here. with the little puppy face.
Yeah.
Crap, I need to stem out. Mid-air kill. That's gonna go into the highlights.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, on another note, let's
Yeah.
talk about this channel.
Yeah, what's up?
So, do you want to bring the news right now, or?
Yeah, so I'm pretty much gonna be consulting directly with iAlex with a little bit of a rebrand and getting more help in terms of getting this channel off of the ground. So I'm definitely gonna be utilizing your talents quite a bit to help with that endeavor.
Nice.
Yep.
So we're gonna have brand new logos and brand new animations and transitions and all that. I mean, it's gonna be like really, really cool.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely
I'm
looking
really
forward to it.
excited about it. Yeah.
I did set up a Patreon page in order to get some help in terms of financing the channel's changes a little bit more and probably using that towards getting better quality on the channel for a fact. So if anyone who's watching the stream right now is interested in giving some help in terms of that, feel free to go to patreon.com/Wulfboi and check it out in the meantime. And if you want to help donate towards that, feel free to do so. I would greatly appreciate that. This is a very high-stress game because of the speed that this goes on, and I tend to forget that very easily.
It's so like frenetic and like you have to focus on like 300 things at the same time and make sure your gun's loaded and make sure there's no one like behind you, or it's crazy. I agree.
But it's one of those exercises in what's the term? An exercise in urgency.
Yeah, and for someone, I'm not critiquing, I'm just saying, but for someone that's used more to Destiny type of games, it definitely is like more stressful.
Yeah, because honestly, Destiny in comparison is a much slower game. And anyone who's a Destiny player who plays a lot of Crucible would argue that, but this is a completely different animal. There's a lot more 3D spaces to be aware of, a lot of kits to try to combat, playstyles to be concerned about, and, like in my case, just getting killed by aimless dyslexic who saw me. There's just so many different things that you have to keep account of as you're pretty much running around in a frenetic sense.
Hello.
Oh boy,
Oh,
boy.
I remember when we used to go to the hibachi and that Asian soup thing.
Oh, the faux lay
Restaurant
lie,
we-
yeah.
Yeah, pho. It was amazing.
Ah, dude, honestly, I would go back to eating pho very fast and easy because it's just perfect soup that's nice and light, but it's
so
very
good.
filling.
Yeah.
Now I have
The
to
only
ask.
downside of it is that you have to take a bath after, but
I mean, considering how many spices there are and how easy it is to splash up the broth, yeah, there's no getting away from that.
yeah.
And that's not to say that it smells
But
bad, it's just that you don't want to smell like your food after having it, especially when you have like a meeting or
all
something
day
afterwards.
Yeah. Did you play the new Mortal Kombat?
I have not, actually. There's been a whole bunch of games that got released that I have never tried. And to be perfectly
It's
honest,
insane.
Oh, is it?
Like Mortal Kombat X was already like really crazy, but this new one, Jesus Christ.
So I am
It's
familiar
like-
with the story of that one, so warning for anyone who's listening, yes, I am going to be inviting some spoiler discussion here. But for Mortal Kombat, what exactly was crazy as far as you were concerned in terms of how it played out?
I mean, I didn't care much about the story. Like, I think I never cared too much about like Mortal Kombat stories. Like, I think for that I would play like Titanfall or even Destiny, like other games. But for Mortal Kombat, I go I played that mainly because of the gore and the
And the
the
violence.
overall craziness. Yeah,
It is
and
pretty
this
over top.
time, yeah, this time is really over the top. Like it's borderline unnecessary.
Well, I'm glad
But
that you
it's
attached the term borderline, because honestly speaking, it did invite quite a few science YouTubers to actually do experiments to see if any of those fatalities were possible.
Jesus. I
And
didn't
one of
know
the ones
about
that, yeah, one of the ones that they actually referenced was the one that Scorpion has, where he sticks the chained dagger into the guy's head, wraps it around the guy, and literally cuts him in half using the chain.
Yeah, that one is ridiculous.
Oh, it is. And the funny thing is, the YouTuber who basically did a video on that, I think it was Because Science, they did a whole series on that. The idea that of a chain being able to melt through organic matter was not possible, so they ignited a chain at white hot temperatures, dropped it on top of a analog of flesh to see if the weight would just carry it down, which it did not do. And they pretty much conclusively said that that fatality is impossible. Well, a guy who bought a chicken and some regular, I think, just standard chain that he got from Home Depot, he replicated the experiment, but he did a sawing motion with the chain, and that actually cut through an entire raw chicken. So it led to a discussion of what exactly caused the cutting capacity, and of course the guys from Because Science, they reviewed it. They said yes, it was the sawing motion that caused that to happen. But if it wasn't for the ability to move the stuff as it was burned away off, it wouldn't be possible.
Yeah.
And in the way that it was displayed in the fatality itself, the fatality just, there was no real sawing motion. It was literally just compression, and the compression is actually the part that's very difficult to replicate.
Got it.
Sorry, I went on a whole scientific tangent for that one, but that's the kind of stuff that we talk about.
No, it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. I like it.
Because I remember there was a whole thing that my dad said, that one of my uncles only learned English by going to the movie theaters and watching the movie multiple times. And when he did that, he would always cover up the subtitles after the fact. Once he watched it like third or fourth time.
Yeah.
Ah, crap.
I mean, yeah. Like, some time ago, we really had to like do our thing to learn, because it was difficult. We didn't have access to a lot of stuff, so or even like listening to music. Like I remember I started listening to music, like English music and American music, like mainly to learn English. I didn't even like it that much, and that's how I started listening more to like hip hop and music genres that used a lot of words,
Stuff that was
because
very
like
lyric heavy.
yeah, because like pop music, like it's really surface level. I don't know, but some hip hop albums, some rock albums really have more
Depth.
meat,
There's more to understand with what they're talking about and what they're saying and interpretation.
Yeah.
So that does bring up the question, what exactly was all of the genres that you listened to up until that point? I'm not asking like your favorite in particular, but what have you listened to and what examples would be of that?
At that time, when I first started listening to music, was like mainly some 80s bands that my father had their CDs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like, do you know Michael W. Smith?
His name does come up in my radar, to be honest. I think my mother was a fan of his.
Yeah, he's basically like a Christian artist, but in the 80s he did a lot of rock and pop music.
Oh,
like
really?
That, yeah.
Huh.
It would be like about God mainly, but
Genre-wise, it was
like,
very heavy in a different direction.
It wasn't like worship music, you know. It wasn't music that you would hear in church.
Gotcha.
But, yeah.
Now that does make it interesting too, because that's a music artist that my mom liked, and it was someone that I kind of avoided for that reason. As horrible as it may be to say, but because you said that he has a more rock history, it does pique my interest because I want to hear what he sounded like from back then.
Yeah, it's I can send you some suggestions, but it was like really good music. It was like really well produced. The lyrics are interesting. Like it's always like about some storytelling. You know, it's not just you know. It was really interesting. I liked it. I don't know. I think nowadays everyone just hates everyone. So.
Yeah, I guess pretty much naming anybody would pretty much fit the bill. Okay, so how about Rick? That guy Rick. You know, the guy who pretty much just does everything he can to make your life unbearably inconvenient. Yeah, we're talking to you, Rick. Have a nice day, but
Rick?
You're still a Rick.
Rick the Prick.
Rick the Prick.
Did you see Avengers Endgame?
I'm gonna be one of those guys who says no, I have not watched it in either the theatrical release or the re-release. I never watched it.
Really? For
Yeah.
sure?
For sure. I never had the time, to be perfectly honest. I was so busy with my old job before I ended up having to leave that. So, to be honest, it never came across my mind to set some time, and I can't think about watching it now because, you know, so many different things are going on at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you would be like the first to watch it.
Normally, I would have been, but there were just so many different things happening at the time, you know. And I was spending time with my wife more just to see the different things that we both like. And to be honest, we were into a show at that time that we kind of liked more than just the thought of watching a one-off movie. So, and I think the show was Grimm. It was on Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
It's a good show, honestly speaking. I'm just kind of upset with how season 6 ended.
Season 6? Wow.
Yeah, it had 6 seasons to it. Yeah.
That's a lot. I see why you didn't want to go to watch Endgame.
Yeah.
Like too much on your plate.
Yeah, it was a combination of too much on the plate, and honestly, I just rather commit to something that was more enjoyable at the time. Because Endgame was also a very divisive story to talk about, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I think, like, not trying to discourage you to watch it, but I think you're not gonna like it that much.
Mm-hmm.
We're not ahead by much. Let's pick
I
up the
mean,
pace.
it's a good movie, but it lacks. I don't know. I think it's because it's difficult to wrap up 22 movies like in one. Like there's too many characters and the movie's too long, and I don't know.
Well, one of the biggest complaints that I heard was the fact that they made certain decisions that make other storylines impossible. So that was one argument I heard. And another one that I heard was along the lines of they'd rather just move on with other stuff that's lesser known to try to garner as much inclusion as possible. I don't think that's a good argument. as to why to dislike it, but I could see how that would be a little off-putting for folks who are bigger fans of the franchise at the time.
Anytime, pilot.
Yeah, I mean, there's that, and there's also like, uh, I don't know, the actors get old, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like they have to change things up. Like the actors probably change their mind about
Stand by for Titanfall.
keep doing like this roles, you know, like
Mhm.
it happens.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest changes that I was not expecting was Chris Evans saying that, yeah, I'm not going to continue being Captain America beyond this point, which I understood to a point, but it's like, it's Captain America. He's a staple of the franchise.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's just what I just said. Like people change their mind and get tired of it, or I don't know. So they have to change the story based on actual plot decisions and like real life decisions as well. So
Titan down.
Whew.
but
Just-
overall, it's a nice movie.
When
Let me
ready.
get my Titan
That's
down
how
here
I
so
like
that
it.
way it's
For
a
Titanfall.
little more even. No, no,
Okay.
no. Haha.
Freak you!
No, I got it confused with a video game that was called Dark Dreams Don't Die, D4, and they make reference to the term memento a lot over and over. So no, I haven't seen Memento. But hold on, is it a movie that had John Travolta in it by any chance, or am I getting that confused with something else?
No, it is a movie that it happens backwards. So it starts on the what would be the climax of the movie, but you at first you don't understand what's going on because it starts at the end, so you don't know who the character is, where he is, what's he doing, what happened to him, and then like it kind of always starts back a little bit earlier than it started before, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So like it would start on Friday midnight, and then it would happen a scene, whatever, and then the next scene would happen at like Thursday, 10 p.m. and then, you know, like that.
Mm-hmm. Actually, hold on.
And then
Was it an actor that had like a photograph of something and on the back it says "Don't trust
Yeah.
X"? Okay,
yeah, that one.
that was actually discussed a lot in one of the classes I took in college for story writing in my English major.
Really?
Yes, it was actually referenced in terms of how to implement roundabout stories and keep it interesting for the sake of film. But
That's awesome.
yeah, it was just a minor example of something that was part of the whole class. So it's not like I took script writing 101, but it was along the lines of why does this story work compared to, let's say, a knockoff that was written by someone trying to do the same thing, you know?
Hmm. Yeah.
But it did have an interesting parallel, and it was one of those scripts that I was like, okay, I have to see the movie at some point, but then I completely forgot to watch it.
It's really good. You're gonna like it. And the thing I like about Christopher Nolan is that he has like these different ways of telling a story, you know?
Mm.
I don't know. I'm just kind of obsessed with Christopher Nolan movies.
Hey, when a guy is good, a guy's good.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, the guy exploded, man.
Man, freaking Ion got me. Every time I try to use laser face, I never get anywhere with that.
Yeah. It takes a while to charge it, and then everyone realizes what you're doing, then just get out.
Right. Alright, so one more match. Let's try to get this one to be a serious win.
Let's go!
Vamos lá, vamos lá, vamos lá.
Oh, you're speaking Portuguese now.
É, só pouco. Tem que praticar jeito ou outro.
Ok, então vamos falar português, então, já que você tá afim de falar português, vamos falar português.
Nossa, é difícil de pegar essa pessoa aí. Ai, não. É, parece que ninguém
Vai
tá...
morrer, vai morrer. Oh, eu morri.
Double killer, pilot.
Ixi, parece que ninguém tá mudando nesse lado aqui.
A gente tá ganhando, pelo menos. You didn't get that, right?
No, that flew right over my head.
Whoosh!
It was like a 737
just-
right over my skull.
I just said that we are winning at least.
I
Got it?
really gotta brush up on more of my Portuguese here. Ooh.
When you speak Portuguese, you have kind of a southern accent.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah,
Oh, that's...
like
Huh.
Brazilian southern. Yeah.
See, if that translated over to like an American Southern, that would be a whole different discussion at that point.
No, nothing like the Americans.
Yeah. At that point, I think some folks
None
would have
of
probably
that.
taken offense to that. That sounds nothing like me.
Alabama.
Sweet home Alabama.
1, 2, 3.
Um, dois,
I'll never
três.
do that.
On your way to getting you home.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Darn it, Shark Boy. Stop swimming so well. Let Wulfboi kill you.
Is there a guy called Shark Boy?
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, Shark Boy, really? Shark Boy? Yeah, what's your sister's name? Lava Girl?
Yeah. I just killed Shark Boy, by the way.
Thank you. And I just got killed by some plum. No, not the fruit.
Some
the player.
plum?
Yeah.
Okay.
The player, not the fruit. Yeah, I got killed by a fruit. Imagine how that went.
Yeah.
Our defenses are being compromised. Warning,
Woo.
sustained severe reactor damage.
I did not bring my shield up fast enough, and I paid the price.
Yes, you did.
At least my Titan paid the price. I myself didn't. Because I'm a survivor, not gonna give up.
So you like Beyonce?
I do not like Beyonce. I'm gonna go on record and say that no. No Beyonce.
Yeah, right.
Listen, the only thing that Beyonce gave as a gift to the world is the joke, Beyonce, I am Beyonce. That is
She's a
literally
good
the
singer,
only
at
thing.
least.
What was that?
I think she's a good singer. I mean, her songs are not.
Fantastic by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, but she can sing well, I guess.
No, I won't deny the fact that she is a talented singer. She has a good vocal range, she's great. But there's also the fact that the only reason why... Okay, let me backpedal because that could be very easily misinterpreted. One of the biggest contributing factors as to why she's so successful comes down to the fact that she knows how to market herself perfectly. She has that business sense that a lot of artists do not possess. And for that reason,
That's true.
I give her a lot of credit. But as a musician, as a music artist, no. She is not top tier in my honest opinion. But that goes for a lot of musicians that are quote-unquote top tier, in my opinion. And perfectly honest, that's strictly my opinion. I'm not saying that they're trash or anything like that. No. It's just there's a little bit of caveat that I take into consideration more so than most people. That's literally what it boils down to.
Still catch up. Don't lose hope.
We're so close.
Major damage sustained.
Oh, I got a Titan kill.
Reactor
That's cool.
exposed. Severe damage sustained.
That's super neat. Who
Where's
talks
that
like
ship?
that?
I mean, anyone who thinks something was super neat. I don't know who else would talk like that.
We lost.
Good effort, everyone.
There's
Safety.
the prompt I was expecting. Where's the ship? Where's the ship? Where's the ship? Where's the ship?
Mothership. What?
Okay, it'll spawn right behind this rock on top of this facility. You
Let's go, boys.
Okay. Now to relax and wait. Relax and wait. Relax and wait. Oh, Titans are here.
Do you see me?
Oh, I saw you. Dip, potato chipping. Dip, potato chip.
Really?
Potato chips. Evacuation denied. Oh, we never made it.
Great.
Hey, look at that! I'm the last man standing.
That's for sure.
Yep. Alright, folks. Well, on that note, this is a good place to stop. Alex, thanks so much for stopping by and joining me for this wonderful stream in
Thank you.
Titanfall 2. It's good catching up with you, and we need to do this again some point soon.